How is it going, Databyte? Says no data here. Welcome back to another exciting episode of Roblox Murder Mystery 2. Today on Murder Mystery 2, I thought I would do something pretty interesting. As you guys know, there are many different godlies in the game, and I did this with Assassin pretty recently, so I decided why not do this with Murder Mystery 2. So today in Murder Mystery 2, I am going to be making a tier list of all of the godly knife and guns. You can see that there are a bunch of them in the game, and in today's video, I'm going to be making a tier list out of all of them. So yeah, pretty self-explanatory. I'm going to take every single godly, ancient, and unique, and we're just gonna put them in a tier list and have a fun time. So yeah, I'm gonna make a tier list, and I'm also going to leave a link for you guys to make your own tier list. So if you want, you can click the link in the description and you can go ahead and make your own godly tier list. So if you guys are excited for this episode of Murder Mystery 2, then be sure to drop a like on this video. It helps out a whole lot. And if you're new, be sure to subscribe for more Murder Mystery 2 videos in the future. Also guys, we have some no data merch. The link to that is in the description. And don't forget to use star code purple when buying Robux and Roblox Premium. It really helps me out to continue making these videos for you guys. All right, and let's go ahead and hop onto the tier list. All right, guys, so here we are on the tier list. This has every single godly, ancient, unique, and vintage knife in the game. However, there are a couple things to note because you're going to see that quite a few godlies are missing. The reason for that is there are a lot of reskins in the game, and I don't want to just be constantly ranking reskins. So I made a couple of ground rules. First of all, every single godly that has a Chroma variant is only going to be represented by their Chroma variants. So you can see that I have Chroma Fang, but there's no regular Fang, and that's just because Chroma Fang is going to represent both normal Fang and Chroma Fang. You know, the Chroma variant is just going to represent both for me, just because, you know, they're pretty much exactly the same. Same with Chroma Seer. The Chroma Seer is going to represent every single Seer in the game. That includes Chroma Seer, normal Seer, all of the colored Seers. Chroma Seer is just going to represent all of them because they're pretty much the same. So yeah, any knife that has a Chroma variant is just going to have the Chroma. There's not going to be the normal godly in here. But just know that the normal variant is also going to be taken into consideration when ranking these Chromas. And also, all of the leaderboard prizes are not in the tier list because they're pretty much just reskins of normal godlies. So any special leaderboard prizes like Red Ice Blaster are not present in this tier list. So yeah, you can see that there are some reskins like the Eternals and the many different Lugers in the game, but for the most part, you know, I kind of want to keep the reskins out of here. So yeah, let's go ahead and start with the tier list. I actually think that this is all in alphabetical order. I mean, all the Chromas start with Chroma, so I'd imagine these are relatively close together. And also guys, keep in mind that this tier list is just completely my opinion. It's not really value based. Maybe value might have a role in it, but typically I'm just going to consider its looks, how unique it is. The actual method to getting it might also come into play. Maybe not very often though. But let's go ahead and get started. First we have America. So this is a nice little vintage. I'm pretty sure this was the only limited time weapon in Murder Mystery 1. So I think it does get quite a bit of credit for that. So I do think it does get credit for like being the only limited time gun in Murder Mystery 1. I guess it is kind of bland compared to the other guns in the game. I'm gonna say that this is a solid B tier, maybe an A tier. I don't know, that might be kind of generous because at the end of the day it is kind of bland, but I think it does get quite a bit of credit for what it's worth. Mera Laser. This is a pretty cool gun. This is basically an upgraded version of America. So pretty cool gun in my opinion. I'll definitely put this at A tier. This one's pretty cool. The Prince. This is a decent knife. Kind of bland in my opinion. I'm gonna go with D tier for this one. The Battle Axe. I really like this axe, to be honest. I think it's really cool. I like the skull in the middle. I think that's really nice. I'm probably going to put this at A tier as well. Battle Axe 2, not as cool in my opinion. I'm going to say I'll put it at B tier, but I don't know. I can see it going down to C tier. Bioblade. I'm going to put it at D tier, but honest, I can see this going to F tier. I'm sorry. I'm just not the biggest fan of Bioblade. I feel like it's kind of bland in my opinion. I think the shape is really not all that great. Actually, I am gonna put it at F tier. I'm sorry. I've never been a huge fan of Bioblade. The Blaster. This is another really cool godly in my opinion. I'm gonna put it at A tier. The Blood. I like the colors on it. It's kind of cool. I'm gonna put it at C tier. Actually, no, I'll bring it up to B tier because of the colors. I really like the dark red. I think that's really cool. The Candy. This is literally a candy cane as a knife, which I think is really cool. Really unique knife. This is an old 20 2015 Christmas Godly. Very valuable, very unique, and very, very cool to use. This is definitely going to be an S tier for me. I really love the candy Godly. It's super cool. There's really no other knives like it. I mean, it's literally a candy cane as a knife, which is pretty insane. All right, the Chill Godly. This is another 2015 Christmas Godly. It's decent. I like the fire coming out of it. I'm gonna put it at a solid C tier. All right, and now we're moving on to the Chromas, but remember, the original variants are going to be taken into consideration, but I feel like the Chroma variants are typically the definitive versions of these Godlies, so that's why I kind of put them on the tier list instead of the originals, because I just feel like the color changing versions of the Chromas are the definitive versions. All right, the Chroma Bone Blade. Now, the thing about this Chroma is it's very hard to notice. The only part that's different from the normal Bone Blade is the color changing handle. I think the scratches on the knife also change color, but overall, it's a pretty cool knife. This was a nice little Halloween Godly. Pretty cool. I'm going to put it at C tier. Actually, no, I'm going to put it at B tier. It's a pretty cool knife. The Death Shard. Very classic Godly from Knife Box 1. It's kind of decent. I feel like it can be pretty bland in some cases. I'm going to put it at D tier. It's okay. The Fang. This is one of my most favorite Godlies in the game. You guys know that I love Fang, and I especially love the Chroma variant. This is going to be an S tier for me. It's not particularly unique, but man, I just always liked Fang. I think Fang is one of the coolest knives. That's just going to be an easy S tier for me, to be honest. The Chroma Gemstone. This is in Mystery Box 1. This is the Godly that we got when Season 1 first came out, which was one of the biggest updates ever. Like, seriously, this update was kind of mind-blowing when it came out. Unfortunately, Season 1 has lasted 2 years, but you know, that's okay. It was still a really cool update, a really nice Godly to get from the box. The original version of it is purple, which is awesome because purple is the best color, and also the Chroma variant is just really, really cool. This is going to be an A tier from me. This is definitely a really cool knife. The Chroma Ginger Blade. This is definitely a very unique knife. I believe this was in Christmas 2018. It's a decent knife for sure. Very delicious knife. I'm not a very huge fan of the Chroma variants because really the only difference is like the candies on it. The candies change color. I'm gonna put it at a C tier. It's a decent knife. Not too much to say about it. The Chroma Heat. This is a fan favorite. This is in the rainbow box. This is honestly just a fan favorite. The original version of Heat is really, really cool, and the Chroma variant of it is just awesome. Everyone loves Chroma Heat, to be honest. It's just a really cool Godly. This might be another S tier from me, to be completely honest. It's just a really cool knife. It is a fan favorite, so it is awesome, to be honest. It's really, really cool. The Chroma Laser. The laser itself is a pretty cool Godly. You know, it's a nice little futuristic gun, but the Chroma Laser just really does it for me. I love the Chroma Laser. It just looks super cool because like this is such a futuristic gun, so I feel like the color changing is just really fitting for the laser. I'm gonna put this at A tier as well. I'm just a really huge fan of the Chroma Laser. It is just really awesome. And the Chroma Luger, another really good variant. This is in Gunbox 1. The original Luger is gold, which is just one of the coolest guns in the game. It is literally just a golden Luger. It is super cool to use. And then the Chroma variant is a Luger that literally changes color, which is actually kind of mind-blowing. This is another fan favorite. I might also have to put this in S tier. The Chroma Saw. This is a pretty interesting Chroma. It's not a huge difference in terms of color changing, but again, this is a very futuristic saw, so I feel like the color changing is actually pretty fitting for what it's worth. And also, this is one of the very few chainsaws in the game. I guess Virtual can be considered a chainsaw, but that's just about it. I mean, Handsaw is not a chainsaw, it's a handsaw, but that's also pretty unique. Man, I feel like I'm being very generous with these S tiers. To be honest, I feel like I'm very generous with the S tiers today. This might go down to A tier. I'm gonna keep it at S tier for now because again, this is a very unique knife, not a lot of chainsaws. I kind of like how the motherboard of it is changing color. I think that's really, really unique. And overall, this is just a really cool Godly, so yeah. The Chroma Seer. So obviously the Seer is a very classic Godly. You're able to craft it, it's really cool. And then after that, you're able to upgrade to colored Seers, like different colored Seers. And then if you're really lucky, you can craft a Chroma Seer. It's a decent knife. Seer is okay. It's a bit small in my opinion. opinion. I like the eyes on it. I think that's a nice detail, but I'm gonna put it at about C tier. It's a decent knife. It's definitely unique in terms of the way you get it, so, you know, it does get some credit in that department. So yeah, I'd say C tier is a pretty good spot for Chroma Seer here. Chroma Shark. Shark is a pretty cool gun. I actually think it's becoming a Nerf gun pretty soon, which I need to buy that, to be honest. I really like the Chroma variant. I just really like the spots where it changes color. It just always seems kind of fitting to me. I'm gonna put it at B tier. It's a pretty cool gun. The Chroma Slasher. It's kind of small and kind of difficult to see the chroma aspect of it. I'm gonna put it at C tier with Chroma Seer. It's a decent knife, I suppose. The Tides Godly. Tides in general is a really, really cool knife. I like the bright blue of it, and I feel like not a lot of people like the chroma variant of Chroma Tides, but to be honest, I really like it. I like how the handle and like this wavy part changes color, but not necessarily like the knife part of it. I don't know, that just seemed like a really unique chroma to me. I'm gonna put this at A tier. It's not exactly S tier, but it's pretty high up there, to be honest. I really like Chroma Tides. All right, Chroma Darkbringer and Chroma Lightbringer. These are pretty much the same gun, to be honest, and honestly, they might just be S tier, to be honest. I think these guns are absolutely sick. I think I Don't Have a Use made a really good job making these, and the chroma variants just look beautiful, especially Chroma Darkbringer, because it's such a dark, edgy gun, and then you have like the rainbow colors with it. I just think that's really awesome, and the non-chroma variants are really cool as well. I like the dark red on the Darkbringer. I think that's really cool. I think these are just gonna be S tiers for me. The Clockwork. This is a pretty cool knife. You know, I like the parts of it. I'm gonna put it at B tier. Cookie Blade. D tier. You know, it's fine for what it's worth. You know, it's made of cookies, but it's kind of just, it's another bundle. Not too much to say about it. The Corrupt Knife. Classic knife right here. In terms of looks, it's okay. I'm gonna put it at C tier. I mean, this is definitely a unique knife. I mean, it's the only knife in the unique tier that I actually put in. All the other unique tiers are just leaderboard prizes, and it kind of just looks like a normal knife, but it's not. It's a pretty expensive knife, actually. I'm gonna put it at C tier, maybe D tier. I don't know. It looks fine, I guess. The Cowboy. This is a nice classic, but it just looks so much like the default gun, so it's gonna be an F tier for me. I don't hate this gun, but it's just, again, it's so similar to the default gun that it just has to be F tier for me. The Shadow, it looks kind of cool. I'm gonna put it at D tier. The Egg Blade, this is kind of cool knife, to be honest, but I don't know, it just looks kind of weird to me. I mean, I like the basket here. I think the basket's kind of unique, but I don't know about all this other stuff. Like, why is there rope wrapped around the knife? I don't really know. This is gonna be D tier for me. The Elderwood Scythe. This is honestly pretty cool. I mean, I like the colors of it. I like the textures of it, but I always found the Elderwood Scythe to be kind of weird. Like, why is it so swiggly? I don't know. Like, it makes it unique for sure, but it just looks kind of weird to me. I'm gonna put it, I guess I'll put it at B tier. I like the colors of it. It's pretty cool, to be honest. I'm kind of debating putting it at C tier, but I'll keep it at B tier for now. All right, moving on to the Eternals. These are all relatively the same. I think I'm gonna put them all at B tier. They're decent. They look kind of cool. I'd say my favorite of the bunch is probably Eternal 4 because it's purple. It looks really nice. And then Eternal Kane's pretty unique. It goes well with other Christmas godlies. And then probably Eternal 1 and then Eternal 3. I'd say my least favorite's probably Eternal 2. It's kind of just a dark green. I don't know, looks kind of weird. All right, the Elderwood Revolver. Again, it looks kind of weird and kind of small in my opinion, but it, you know, I like the textures. I like the colors of it. I'm gonna put it at B tier as well. The Flames. I really like this godly, to be honest. This used to be an ancient. I kind of miss when this was an ancient. Why did they make this a godly? I mean, it became unobtainable and then it became a godly, so I guess that kind of makes it, but like, why not keep it an ancient? Because there's not a lot of ancients. The only other ancients in the game are like from events. Why not have like a classic ancients that you could craft? You know what I mean? I mean, I'm glad it's unobtainable. That makes it a lot more valuable for sure, but like, I don't know, should have kept it an ancient, to be honest. Anyway, really cool knife. Definitely an A tier for me for sure. The Frostbite, it looks kind of cool. I'll put it at C tier. I'll also put the Frost Saber at C tier as well. Ghost Blade, sure, you can also be a C tier, reluctantly. The Ghost, kind of bland, F tier. The Ginger Luger, very unique Christmas godly. I think it was a craftable one, which we really don't get many limited time craftable godlies anymore. Nicholas should really add those back in events, to be honest, and this is literally a gingerbread version of the Luger. Definitely an A tier from me, at least. I don't know if I want to put every single Luger at S tier. I feel like that would be way too generous. But I think, honestly, all of the Lugers are going to be in A tier from me at least. Luger Cane, Red Luger. Where's Green Luger? Green Luger's right here. I'll put that at A tier as well. The Golden Gun. To be honest, I've been pretty harsh with the vintages, but I love the Golden Gun, to be honest. I literally remember grinding out Murder Mystery 1 to be able to get this Golden Gun. This is going to be an S tier from me, to be completely honest. This is a really nostalgic gun for me. I literally remember grinding this out. It was so much fun, and I just really like this gun, to be honest. I guess it's kind of bland compared to some of the other gollies, but I don't know. I just love the Golden Gun. And again, I've been pretty harsh to the vintages up until this point. The Hollow's Blade. This is literally a Hollow's Edge, but purple. That is awesome. Hollow's Edge is going to be an A tier for sure. Really cool Halloween knife. But the Hollow's Blade is literally a purple version of that. So, I mean, that's got to be S tier for sure. The Hollow Scythe. I love the Hollow Scythe, to be honest. It honestly just looks sick. This is going to be another S tier from me for sure. The Hollow Gun, I don't know. This just seems kind of disappointing to me. I mean, you know, it's a golly. It's kind of cool. But, like, it just looks so much like the default gun. I feel like golly should be really unique, and I don't know, this just looks very similar to the default gun. I'm gonna put this at C tier, but honestly, that's being kind of generous, because, I don't know, I was just really disappointed looking at that. You know what? Nah, I'm gonna put it at D tier. I'm sorry. I've never been a huge fan of the hollow gun. It looks kind of cool for what it's worth, but I don't know. It just looks so freaking similar to the default gun that I'm not a huge fan of it. The Handsaw. This is another 2015 Christmas godly. This is the only handsaw in the game. Very unique, and for that, it definitely gets an S tier. The Heartblade. This is a cool godly. I like the colors of it. I'm gonna put it at B tier. The Ice Blaster. The tip of the gun is made of ice, so that's definitely a lot more unique, like when you compare it to like the hollow gun. This is definitely a lot more unique. I'm gonna put this at B tier. It looks pretty nice. I like it. The Ice Breaker. This is a sick axe, to be honest. I really like it. This might be another S tier, actually. I'm sorry. That just looks really nice. I like the skull on it. I like the ice around it. I like the purple handle. I just love everything about it. This is just such a super cool ancient. I love it. I love this ancient so much. All right, the Ice Dragon. This is a decent knife. You know, it's made of ice. I'll put it at C tier, I guess. It's kind of unique. Same with Ice Shard. It's decent. And same with Ice Wing. I mean, these are all just a bunch of ice knives from, I think, Christmas 2017. They're fine. They're okay. The Jingle Gun. Again, it's kind of cool, but like the hollow gun, I feel like it's way too similar to like the default guns for it to really look all that interesting. The Laser. So when making this tier list, I realized there's a Laser Golly and a Laser Vintage. So that's kind of interesting. They have the same name. This is a Murder Mystery 1 weapon, and yeah, I see what they're going for. It looks kind of weird and kind of bland compared to some of the other, you know, modern gollies, but, you know, I like what they were going for. I'm gonna put this at C tier. The Log Chopper. This is a really cool ancient. I'm gonna put this at A tier. It looks nice. I think it's pretty cool. Minty. We got a nice little gun that has a little peppermint pattern. Decent godly. I'm gonna put it at B tier. All right, the Batwing. To be honest, the Batwing to me is kind of disappointing because I remember watching like a really old JD video, and the Batwing was like huge. Like, it was massive. It had its own animations, and everyone wanted the Batwing, but it was like a developer weapon, so you couldn't really get it at all. But it was just super cool to use. Well, no one really used it, but it was super cool to like watch. And then when it came out for Halloween, like, I was so excited, but you know, it was downscaled significantly, and it was kind of disappointing. That being said, it's still a pretty cool ancient. This is an ancient, right? I'm pretty sure it's an ancient. It's still pretty cool. I'll put it at A tier. Same with Nick Scythe, because, you know, Nick Scythe is relatively similar. So Batwing and Nick Scythe, they'll be in A tier because they still look pretty cool. The Nightblade. This is a decent golly. I'm going to put it at C tier. I'm going to put Old Glory at C tier as well. Same with Peppermint. I like what they were going for. C tier. The Phaser, I believe this is. I'll also put it at C tier. Again, I like what they were going for. The Pixel. This is literally an 8-bit pixelated sword. It looks like a Minecraft sword. Really unique. This is going to be an S tier. The Prismatic. I like the colors on it. Many people have said this, but it kind of looks like a chroma, so that's kind of cool. I'll put it at A tier. The Pumpkin. This is another disappointing Halloween knife. I remember when this knife first came out, it was just freaking massive. Like, it was obnoxiously big, and I kind of liked it, to be honest. I mean, it kind of led to some glitches, but it was still a super cool godly. And now it's, you know, it's still kind of large, but it was downsized. That being said, it's still a pretty cool knife. I'm gonna put it, I'll put it at A tier. The Snowflake, meh, D tier. The Spider, really cool Halloween godly. I'm gonna put it at B tier. You know, it's pretty cool. The Splitter, get it? Cause it's a knife that's cut in half. You see how it's split? See, so it's called the Splitter. D tier. The Sugar, this is literally a gun that you shoot candy canes as bullets. Candy canes as bullets. It's another 2015 Christmas godly. This is going to be another S tier for me. The Vampire's Edge. Very well done godly. This is really cool. I like the colors of it. I like the design. This is going to be another A tier for sure. The Virtual. Is this supposed to be a saw? I guess so. It's kind of cool. I like it. B tier. Winter's Edge. I say it's a bit better than the other, like, ice-themed godlies. I'm also gonna put this at B tier. And finally, we have the Xmas. This is a really cool Christmas godly. It's literally a Christmas tree as a knife. I think it's pretty cool. I'm gonna put this at A tier. All right, and we are pretty much done. So now that everything is on the tier list, I'm just going to go ahead and make some adjustments, any changes that I want to make before finalizing the tier list. I'm gonna move Eggblade down to F tier. I'm gonna move a Mera Laser down to B tier, and I'm gonna move America down to C tier. And I am actually pretty happy with this tier list. I like how it turned out. There might be some changes I can make here and there, but for the most part, I think this is actually a pretty good tier list. So I'm actually gonna say that I'm done for now. Maybe later on, I'll go ahead and update this tier list in another future video. Let me know if you guys want that, because I would absolutely be down to do so. But yeah, I'd say this is pretty much the tier list. I'm quite happy with it. So yeah, guys, that is going to be the complete tier list from me. Again, I'm going to put a link in the description so that you guys can make your own Murder Mystery 2 tier list. So you guys can let me know what your personal favorite godlies are using that tier list. But that's going to be it for this video, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching this episode of Roblox Murder Mystery 2. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and all those other things that YouTube people do. And I will see you guys in the next video. Stay purple.